In this little video, we're going to create a stormy sky, and we're going to do this by lifting out clouds with kitchen towel. To begin with, I'm wetting my paper with clean water in the sky area, and into that I'm going to drop some grey. I've made this grey using ultramarine blue, rose madder, alizarin crimson, permanent rose, whatever pinky red you have, and some burnt sienna. And I'm putting on a nice depth of colour. I'm also adding some yellow ochre to the base or the bottom of the sky as it approaches the horizon line. Now I'm going to get my kitchen towel, I'm going to roll it up, and I'm going to start to lift out some clouds. So I'm lifting out some bigger ones at the top of the page or at the top of the sky, and they're going to get smaller as I approach the horizon line. I have to do this lifting out while the wash is wet, so I have a limited amount of time to work, and I need to kind of work fast because once the paper or the paint is dry, I can't lift out the clouds out of the wash. So again, I'm making them bigger at the top and getting smaller as they approach the horizon line. Now, because I know this grey is going to dry lighter, I'm adding in some more. The paper is still wet, so I can do this while the page is still wet. And I'm doing it really because I want a greater contrast between my lights and my darks. So I continue to add my darker areas down along, approaching the horizon line. And as I do, they'll get smaller and smaller, and in this way it will kind of create a sense of depth and distance, and create some aerial perspective in the painting. I'm hoping that, you know, this sky will be stormy and moody when it's finished. So now that it has dried, I'm going to go back into each cloud and I'm going to wet each cloud individually, and into that then I'm going to add a lighter tone of grey just to knock back that white area. So I do them one at a time because if I wet them all together, you know, they'd be dry before I'd get to the end. So working on each individual cloud ensures that I have enough time to work in my lighter grey tones into each of the clouds. So I'll continue to do that. I will then at some point go back in and add some yellow ochre to the base of these clouds too, but for the moment I'm just adding the tones of grey. In order to see this sky in context, I'm going to make a little seascape out of it. So I'm going to just sketch in some rocks here, and then I will add some sea to it, just to show the sky in context. So here I'm adding some greeny grey to the sea area, and I've got that colour using my ultramarine blue with a little bit of lemon yellow and some of that grey. I'm deepening down those colours now, again with some more green and a little bit more of that grey. I want a kind of dramatic colour in my sea. Again, now that it has dried, I'm going to start to paint in my rocky areas. So I'm starting with the island at the back, just below the horizon line there, and I'm using the same grey that I've used in the sky for those islands. I'm also just putting in that rocky outcrop here in the foreground, and again I'm using the same colour, grey, and I've made that grey using the ultramarine blue, that pinky red, and some burnt sienna. And I suppose one of the good things about mixing your own greys is that you can get them you know, lovely dark tones and lighter tones. So this grey tone is almost black, but it is just a deeper tone of the sky colour. So again, I'm just dropping in this other little rock here behind in the same colour again. Now I'm starting to put some movement in my water. I want it to be kind of matching my sky. I suppose if I've movement in my sky, I also want movement in my water. So I want a kind of a stormy effect in my sea. So again, I'm adding just little marks to kind of create that movement in the sea. I've also lifted out a highlight off of the island there using the same method, just a tissue, to lift out some colour. And I'm now going to add some white gouache. I mixed a milk consistency of white gouache, and I'm just spattering it on to give the effect of spray. And just there where the sea meets the rock, I'm adding some white gouache to just to kind of give the effect of foam where it hits the rock. Again, I want a kind of I suppose a little bit of surf there to kind of give the impression that there's wave movement in the water, that it's windy and stormy. So again, I'm just adding some surf there at the bottom of the rocks with that white gouache. So I'm literally just going to spatter it on, holding the brush and just spattering on that foamy spray. So as well as that, now I've gone in and added some more yellow ochre to the base of my clouds, and I've also added a little glaze of it over the water. So that's my finished painting. Thank you very much.